Crossroads, Part 1. Humanity is at a crossroads where absolute evil will be unleashed upon it, the opposite of good. Evil will emerge from every hidden corner of what is considered the human psyche. The veil has been torn. Nothing can be hidden anymore. All thought forms, existing in the collective and individual unconscious and subconscious, will find their way out in the end times. You will see what you have emitted over the eons. You will feel what you have emitted over the millennia, not because the universe is evil, but because this is your truth, good or bad, which you must assume and recognize. Running away from this now, out of fear or denial, won't solve anything in your life. Since time and space are only a construct meant to encapsulate consciousness, to fragment it into countless particles scattered throughout history and various more or less real densities, the collapse of this construct will cause all these isolated histories to converge absolutely toward the central point of creation, toward the cause. Returning to the source is not a random process. Human consciousness, or whatever it may be, must confront its own creations, good or bad, in order to move forward, regardless of the choice you make, in fear or in love. But on an individual level, it depends solely on you how you receive this gift that is now manifesting itself. The most terrifying thing is to see how people behave as if what they do is normal, as if their way of life is a given that cannot be questioned, doubted, or challenged, as if it were something terrifyingly holy. You cannot question it because it is so deeply embedded in the bone structure of the human mind that if you wanted to extract that something, it would mean extracting the very root, the foundation of all human history from the beginning to the present moment. That would mean tearing down the entire scaffolding of the human psyche, the core of stupidity, the core of idiocy. If you do that, you attack the very essence. There is a tightening, a lump in your throat, a shock to your being, a hollow feeling in your stomach, as if you suddenly realized that you were on the edge of a cliff and someone touched you. Intentionally or not, unexpectedly, you feel like you are dying, a boundless fear you will fall, you will go, it is over. You are suddenly thrown into the void that you have avoided all your life, that you did not want to see anymore. That has frightened you since your earliest childhood, that darkness, that cruel and boundless fog that lurks in the forgotten corners of your memory. You turned your face away from it, but it has been watching you since you came into the world. When this blind spot present in the human field begins to be cornered by presence, by the fact that it is seen, it behaves like an animal caught in a deadly trap. It screams, shows its teeth, is capable of tearing you apart, is in agony. This is how most of those caught in this shadow behave. You will see in their eyes a deadly, ancestral, cold, murderous hatred, an inhuman grin, boundless despair, a tremor in their bones, a colossal rage. They all move around carrying with them that dark imbecility that has clothed itself in human form, a black and deadly slowness. That darkness prevents them from seeing their own state of being, that of an instrument in the hands of a force that hates you from the depths of its being. It hates your structure, your makeup, your nature, everything that is human. This is also why, if you look closely into someone's eyes, that animalistic force begins to writhe and struggle. You have touched its structure. That person becomes just a kind of shirt, a rag that begins to flutter in the wind, shaken by an ancestral tremor, by an abysmal terror, incomprehensible to the logical mind, but present in the structural fiber of human history, collective and individual. It is something that has enveloped man, taken human form, and man has become its host and puppet. The residual memory of the previous universe is insinuated into the current consciousness as a kind of panacea and God, but it is a disease. Like cancer, that layer of cells that refuses to renew itself, that multiplies chaotically and takes on a form, a golem, a familiar one, that of the Messiah, the Comforter, the Validator. Because validation itself, as a need to be recognized, gives birth to dancing monsters before the dreaming and sleeping eyes of consciousness, those others you need in order to imagine and believe that you exist somewhere, sometime, as someone and something. The mastery of giving kicks in the ass lies in the art of always being ready to receive one when you least expect it, and especially from whom you least expect it. This will create a permanent inner tension that will make you laugh at all the nonsense that goes through your head, which will recover the energy lost in devastating emotions and poisonous mental loops. Only at that moment will a slap, a word, or a caress have an overwhelming impact on the recipient, because all your energy will go to that point, breaking energy blockages that may have been there for generations. Many ask themselves, why am I here? Well, precisely for this reason, 2. Reconnect to the true network, the magical network, through lucid and guided dreaming, stalking, and mastery of consciousness. But for this you have to give up a lot. What consumes your energy unnecessarily, that is exactly what the grid mesh is made of. Vices, chaotic emotions, TV, mental loops, borrowed and unconscious behavior, foolish sex, foolish eating, foolish thinking. The energy consumed in all this is immense. If you stop all of this, the level of energy recovered will automatically connect you to the truth. It is about using intention to transform thinking into imagination, feelings and emotions into inspiration, and instincts into intuition. Then this refined energy becomes fuel for the next cycle described above, in which intention becomes even more fired up, pure energy. At that moment, you will notice that the level of physical and mental degradation stops, and spiritual energy sharpens like a sword forged in the fire of intention and under the hammer strokes of will. The implanted drama and tragedy are what create the apparent distance between souls. Another major disruptive factor is exaggerated seriousness, meaning taking things too seriously and too personally. This creates countless layers of artificial dreams, or incarnations, and fictional personalities that walk through those life lessons to see what it's like. The only thing that matters is the choice. In reality, we all are together, no matter how much we struggle to put and interpose universes, planes, and timelines in between. At some point, you get bored of so much distance. If you replace the word drama with theater, you can get a better overview. Not everything can be said directly. Sometimes drama is a theater played by those entities embedded in the human aura and the character they play. The mask they wear is that very individual precisely to make. You have a certain reaction in your relationship with that person. That person is just a puppet in their hands, and your reaction only reinforces the contract. If you extend this to a planetary level, you will better understand what I meant there by drama. Generally, people are content waiting for something to happen, so that they can have a new and happy world ready, without any effort, in which to continue lazing around, exactly as they have done so far, so comfortably. But it will not happen because you yourself within yourself must collapse that false world in which you have lived. No one can do it for you. In the new world there is no place for complacency, and there is no place for false expectations and hopes. That is not how the universe works.